Hey everybody, welcome to another video. This time we're doing a draw with me. I love watching these videos. I've always loved watching these videos and I thought it'd be super fun to make one. My face is also in this a lot. Just ignore that. But yeah, I am just warming up. Usually I warm up with references from Pinterest. I love Pinterest. Who doesn't? I think this is like a moth or a butterfly. I'm really trying to get better at drawing moths and butterflies because I love them. They're super cool, and for some reason they've always been really difficult for me to draw. They're so delicate and pretty, and I feel like it just doesn't translate in my style, but that's okay. This is kind of off-brand for me. Starting with markers and pencils, I usually just go in with ink, like my brush pen, all reliable, you know. But yeah, we're shaking it up today. We're being a little different. I love adding just random like squares and rectangles to my pages and then just filling them with stuff. I think that is probably my favorite way to dive into a sketchbook spread. Just because it can be a little intimidating with just the white paper and you're just there and you're like, man, I gotta draw on this, you know, gotta make that first mark. But yeah, I'm using my, is it Arteza pens, markers? I can't remember. I'm soon going to be posting a full supply list on my Patreon, so that's exciting as well. Because there's so many, I have so many favorite art supplies and I just can't remember them off the top of my head. So it'll be nice to have a place that I can direct people like, hey, this is on my Patreon. You know what I'm saying? This particular sketchbook spread is inspired by September. In my mind, September is like light blue, dark blue, oranges. That's September in my head. All the months are color coded in my head. So I use a lot of orange, a lot of yellow, and a lot of ink, of course, because that's my favorite. Also, my forehead. Hello. I'm also kind of getting used to drawing in front of a camera. It's really weird, I'm not gonna lie. Like the position that I have to be in, it just feels a little off, but I think I'll get used to it. Now I'm starting with my brush pen, which is, again, my favorite. I love drawing houses so much. They're just so cute and they make me so happy. When I think September, when I think fall, I'm thinking neighborhoods, you know, spooky little neighborhoods, trick-or-treaters, you know, leaves on the ground, sidewalks, all of it. That's just so fun. But I really liked this little doodle that I did up here. I don't know if you can see it very well because it's kind of blown out right there, but I don't know. I think it'd make a cute print. Maybe that's just me. Again, I love coloring in spaces with ink. That's another one of my favorite things to do, just filling in like squares of kind of making like mini pieces of art in the sketchbook. Does that make sense? I don't know. But I love filling like little rectangles and little squares with doodles and making them their own little piece. But yeah, it says welcome to the neighborhood. There's a little ghosty. I don't know if he lives there or if he's like visiting, if it's a kid in a costume. Who knows? You decide. And I'm going back in with ink because I couldn't stand the blue. Needed more contrast, you know? Also, I don't know if you can see it, but in the bottom left corner of my sketchbook, it's all wrinkled up. And that's because there was a tiny sketch there and I erased it with my kneaded eraser and it crinkled the whole page. But it kind of fit the vibe, you know, a little wear and tear September, right? Here I'm going in and we're drawing a little flower. I had this really cute idea where like these two flowers, they've grown together, they've bonded, and September is around the corner and one of them's not looking too good. He's losing a few petals. Another flower's like, you good, bro? You okay? You know, fall is a time of loss, but it's also super fun for us, not for the flowers. More fall inspiration with this doodle over here. You can't have fall without apple cider, so I'm really just manifesting some apple cider in my future. Are you more of like an apple cider person or a pumpkin spice kind of person? I think you can be both. I think that's fine. But I think I prefer apple cider. Like spiced apple cider, so good. This little apple's taking a bath in apple cider. I just realized how creepy that was. Ew. So now I'm going in drawing some trees because again, you can't have fall without some trees. And I love drawing forests. I think it's super relaxing. But okay, so I posted on my Instagram story a couple days ago if anyone had any questions or things I wanted to talk about when I made a video, and I got some pretty cool responses. So let's get started with that. The first question is, what do you do to get out of a creative rut? So having art block, getting into a creative rut is like the hardest thing ever as an artist. It feels awful. You feel like you're actually broken. It's like, why can't I do this thing that I always do every single day? And why isn't it working? Why don't I like anything that I'm making? And it can be really discouraging. There are a few things that I do to kind of cope with it. I don't know if there's really like an answer to feeling better about it instantly. I don't think it's just like a instant fix type of deal, but my favorite thing to do, well, like I have like 3 things that I do. First thing, oh, there's my hair. Okay. The first thing I do is if I realize that I'm like struggling to come up with ideas, I'm struggling to just make any art that I like, I will do some reference drawing. So whether that's like anatomy or animals or just cool pictures I find on Pinterest, I'll just pull out my sketchbook. I have actually a dedicated sketchbook for studying art, like just a bunch of figure drawing, a bunch of animals and all that stuff. So I'll pull that out and pull up Pinterest and get going and just draw a bunch of pictures of cool things. And that honestly really helps. It kind of gets me out of my own head, which is really nice. More, like focusing on the technical side of things rather than just the creative side. That's super helpful. The second thing I do is I'll get new art supplies. I'll get like a new sketchbook or some new pens or markers, paint, anything like that. That is usually pretty helpful, sparking some creativity because, it's always fun to play with new toys. The last thing I do is, this is like my last resort, honestly, because I love drawing, but I'll try a new medium. So maybe I will do some needle felting. Is that what it's called? I think so. Maybe. I'll do that. I'll paint. I'll sculpt with some air dry clay or some Sculpey. I'll crochet or, bunch of different things you can do. That's also really helpful to get those creative juices flowing. Yeah, really enjoyed that. And I mean, again, as I said, there's really not like a easy fix, but I really enjoy that. So the next question is, how do you keep a consistent art style? Honestly, my style is pretty simple, and I just kind of I stick to themes that I like. That's really helpful. I always draw like the little details in my drawing is kind of what makes it consistent. I think just like the little things that keep it together. I don't know, the themes, the colors, all that stuff. And I also just draw what I like, and I think that's really helpful too. Just kind of drawing what you like, drawing what makes you happy, and I think with time it'll just become consistent. I started a Patreon and I'm really excited about it. I currently am working like a day job, and it's gotten in the way of a lot of art that I could be making. So I started a Patreon to try and reach my goal of sustaining myself and, supporting myself with my art. I want to make a shop, or like a real shop where I can sell prints and stickers and be able to offer them on my Patreon as well. And I would love to make more content, more consistent videos, more consistent TikToks, all that. So if you're interested, you can go and check that out. I'm going to be posting my supply lists and sketchbook tours every month. Bunch of cool stuff until I can, make those stickers and make those prints. But yeah, I will have that linked in my description as well. And thank you guys for all the support in general. You guys are so sweet and so kind and supportive already. And it just makes me so happy that I get to at least chase my dreams and do what I want to do. But yeah, thank you guys. And this is the finished page. I really like it. I love the orange. It's spooky, it's kooky. But yeah, support me on Patreon if you would like, and thank you.